Beautiful ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? I am your host, JLW. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are taking on This Morning I Decided to Die. It was hard when I picked this title, trying to figure out if I was going to have the same energy that I normally do when I do an intro, because I want to be up here, but that title brings me down here. So of course I've got to say right up front, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. I have no idea what this game is going to feature in terms of images or storylines, so there may be some depressive or some things that are leading towards self-transitioning oneself. Please be careful if you're dealing with mental health, because I take mental health very seriously, and I don't want you to watch this game to go on this journey with me if you're dealing with something that this game may unfortunately trigger in you. So please, 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 if this is not for you, I totally understand. I'll see you in the next video. And let's send a few quick shout outs to a few people who had accepted my challenge of not being scared, stepping out of the bushes, and interacting with the channel. One, five-time heavyweight champion Erica, leaving a comment on our Something in the Woods video. Thank you, Erica, for leaving that comment. Who also informed us that the thing that we were being hunted by, or that we hunted, was the Wendigo. I smacked out that Wendigo, though, boy. Wendigo didn't stand a chance. It took me a few bullets, but I still smacked the... Either way, thank you, Erica, so much for leaving a comment about that. And also a newcomer to the boxing ring who said, I ain't scared of your challenge, JLW. I can take on being announced publicly on the channel. So thank you, Luigi Sufrida. I believe that's how you say it. Actually, I believe that's not how you say it. But thank you for clicking the subscribe button and letting yourself be known. We appreciate you. Now, without further ado, here we are. Time to play This Morning I Decided to Die. What happened? Tonight, I will kill myself. Yeah, this is really hard to keep my energy up with already. This thought has been occupying my mind since yesterday, after appearing out of thin air. Okay. Although, who am I kidding here? It festered inside me for a long time, like a malignant tumor. Like another pimple on the body of a pubescent, that's the word I'm looking for. Like another pimple on the body of a pubescent teen with surging hormones. I ain't gonna lie, face-wise with the pimples, you going through it. This does seem like a difficult time, because those don't even look like pimples. Those look like bugs or raisins stuck to your face. That's kind of tough. Not suicide tough, but tough. Grandma always said that it's just a phase. That I'm still only 15, and everybody has pimples at that age. Yo, am I the only one who didn't go through a really bad pimple state? Like, I don't know, maybe because I'm black, that's not what happens to black people, but I didn't have bad acne when I was a teenager. Like, I had regular people acne, or regular people, but just regular acne. Like, it wasn't crazy. I don't think nobody in my family went through regular, crazy acne. Is that a race thing? Or only certain races? Like, I know black people can have bad acne, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I don't have personal experience of having bad acne at that age. A teenager's body is affected by a change in hormonal composition. That's why they turn into an ugly duckling. It's all a lie, of course. If that were true, the faces of all my classmates would be oozing with pus. Not just mine. Okay, so she's experiencing what I experienced, in that she seems to be the only person who's going through this really terrible change. Now I gotta think back to my high school days. I cannot remember anybody who had really bad acne. Maybe I just didn't focus on it. I'm sure there were plenty of people. I just don't remember a lot of people walking around with like terrible, like oozing pus-filled zits on their face all day, every day. I sighed. I've seen like acne scars. Trying to fight this deformity was useless. I used many different creams. I squashed hundreds of pimples. I even tried leaving my face alone for a long time. Nothing worked. Yikes. They only grew in number. Maybe one day I would have been turned into one giant boil. Okay, I understand the sentiment of feeling like this is never going to end, but I can promise you it does not work like the more pimples you have, you eventually turn into one big pimple yourself. At least I don't think it works that way. That would be a terrible fate. And then somebody, because there's those people out there who just love to squish pimples and pop the pus out, just love, like Dr. Pimple Popper. What is it with y'all and Dr. Pimple Popper? Why do y'all love popping pimples and popping other people's pimples and watching pimples be popped? If I plan to endure this life for a couple more years, of course. Ew. Gross. Good thing that day will never come. The world will remember me as a pretty girl with just a couple of tiny pimples. Although, who am I kidding here? Just last night, while standing in front of the mirror, I counted exactly 15 of them. Well, now hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You are overselling the condition. You only have 8 pimples that I can see. My hands moved to my cheeks on their own, but stopped halfway. Oh, maybe 9. Did I count that one? Grandma always says I shouldn't squash them, acne scars, that it would leave my face scarred for the rest of my life. But I just can't leave all of these bumps alone. Somebody will definitely notice them and make fun of me. Again. Oh, that's sad. High school. It can be terrible. Are you gonna spend the rest of your life there? What are you even doing? I'll be right out, Grandma. Oh, that was somebody else talking. Okay, I thought it was like a ghost. I didn't want to leave the bathroom at all. Beyond its door, the outside world awaited me, in all its uncertainty and cruelness. Spending the rest of my life sitting here, in front of this mirror, doesn't sound like a bad idea. I've got a toilet, I've got water from the sink or the toilet, once I flush it, of course. I don't have food, but I did hear that roaches are starting to make a comeback, so I've got food. She may not have too terrible idea. I guess she could make this work. I mean, I don't like my reflection at all, but it's not trying to bully me, at least. Let's keep the optimism up, everybody. Remember, to get through this, we have to stay positive. Did you go deaf all of... Oh, sorry. Did you get... excuse me. Did you go deaf all of a sudden? It's time for breakfast. Yeah, that's it. That's the voice. I told you I'm coming. What's for... Grandma, what are we having for breakfast? You're not eating at all. My grandma is a total cheapskate. So much so that she went in the backyard and found breakfast? She can spend hours in front of the stove, cooking tens of liters of porridge, just to avoid cooking every day. This maggot porridge? Those look like those little silkworms that you see people on like food eating challenges eat that are like supposed to taste nutty and actually quite good.
都是不听话，我说碗多，你偏要碗稀。大家好，我是向村支书。今天这道下酒菜，这东西真的不像是能吃的东西，可是超有营养。
I don't know. I'm not gonna know, but that's what they look like. That would usually suffice for a couple of days until the porridge started going bad. Ain't nothing like some stanky ass porridge. Grandma always complained that I shouldn't throw away food. The porridge doesn't come for free after all, as Grandma would say. I had to stuff it down my throat and wait for the next cooking day. Today, I had bugs in my porridge. I barely kept myself from shoving my hands there to see whether they were real or not. Oh, so this is just her mental of what she thinks of the food that's being served to her. Not actual silkworms crawling around in what doesn't even look like porridge. It looks like spinach of some sort. I've heard that our brains can do all sorts of things if the desire for something is high enough. And right now, my only desire was to overthrow the plate on top of Grandma's gray hair and run away. I'd do anything just to avoid eating this slop. Oh, Grandma look aggressive. Why is Grandma biting her lip like that? Like she just can't wait to see us eat one of these silkworms. What's wrong with you? Everything's fine. Oh, that's not Grandma, that's me, sorry. Then eat up. She has no idea this is going to be our last breakfast together. Even though I'd tell her everything if she were to ask. I mean, based off this, I don't think she would care. Are you a reptile? What is with the scales going down? Why is that such a defined neck? It just looks like the bottom of a snake, like rigid. Ah! It's not like I trust her. I'm just curious as to what she would say. Would she laugh in my face? Would she shout and swear? Would she hit me? Or would she just shrug me off? So she doesn't know her grandmother either, or at least she feels like she doesn't know her grandmother because she doesn't know how she would react, whether it would be indifference, anger, not taking her seriously. None of those options seemed like she expected her grandma to take it affectionately though, like to actually care that she's threatening to self-transition herself. The last option was the most believable, that she just wouldn't care. Grandma was only concerned with one thing, whether I ate or not. I wonder, will she just put my corpse in this kitchen chair when I die? Oh God. Will she spoon feed it or grumble about me not eating anything? Will she even notice that I'm dead? I'm not hungry. I'll eat at school. Who do you think I cooked all of this for? I told you to eat. Eat. Her scorching stare met with mine, empty and lifeless. Eat at home, eat at school. Eat at home, eat at school. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. If she is so disgusted by her grandmother's cooking that she can't even see food for food, she just sees maggots, probably she'd eat at school. Let's try and bring her some happiness. Right? Let's try and get her to a place where there's food. Eat at home! Sure, Grandma. I started poking the porridge with the spoon without a speck of enthusiasm. Here's my fear. If I tell her to go eat at school, I fear she's not gonna eat, period. I don't want to contribute to malnutrition. That's my thought, my initial thought. Let's see how it plays out. Lumpy, sticky substance got stuck in my throat. One of the bugs scratched at the walls of my esophagus, trying to escape. Jesus, you're taking this this illusion pretty far that you can actually feel the bug's legs. I almost vomited straight into the plate. I almost vomited listening to this. See? You can do it when you try. Grandma smiled, content. You need to eat home cooking, or you'll get gastritis. Oh God, Grandma. Oh God. Oh God. I just saw this news report today that was talking about how kids younger than 10 have already been on diets because of things that their parents have put them on or things that they've heard their parents say about their own weight. So it's not even forcing the kid to go on a diet, but the parent will say something along the lines like, oh, I need to lose weight. Or a parent will give another parent a compliment like, oh, you look great today. Did you lose weight? The kid hears that and interprets that as skinny equals beautiful, therefore I need to go on a diet. So it's messing kids up already at a very young age, which is just crazy. And that's what I'm kind of seeing here with the gastritis message. Maybe if you weren't this rebellious, you would have been way more healthy. Yeah, exactly this part. This is what I mean. She made me eat gross stuff that was a week old anyway. Ew. I only ate home cooking, but my body was still rotting on the inside. Thanks to it, I already had gastritis, pancreatitis, and a bunch of other illnesses, the names of which I don't remember. I drink mounds of pills, but I never get better. Well, what kind of pills are you taking, and why are you drinking mounds of them? There's no pill in the world that you need to take mounds of. Everybody who's taking multiple pills in a day is taking maybe a handful. Never seen anybody pile dive into mounds of pills unless they didn't want to get up. Pills. Probably should just went to school. I see that was a bad option. Every morning, right after breakfast, Grandma always puts a glass full of vitamins, ferments, and God knows what else in front of me. You're costing me a fortune! Where did you manage to batter your body so badly, you filth? I like to think that those pills close the circle. Oh, that's me. Hold on. I like to think that those pills close the circle of despair. If the spoiled food does me no good, Grandma can at least offset that with fish oil and mesem. Fish oil always gives me that nauseous feeling, man. I know it's good for you, forget what vitamin it gives you, but I just... Ugh, it always makes me sick to my stomach. Why did God send me such a sickly granddaughter? Oh, why did God send me such a sickly granddaughter? Hey, will you say something? Why won't you say anything? Poke you with my cane. You're gonna say something. You're gonna say something to Grandma. Grandma's talking to you. Eat your pills and talk to Grandma. I rushed to drink the pills down with water, but I just ate porridge. It should be either or, not both, right? I knew all too well what would happen if I tried to talk back. Besides, what could I say? Yes, Grandma. I'm the most sickly girl in the world. I mean, she's got a point, right? Like, what the hell are you supposed to say back to that? I'm sorry for being sickly. I'm sorry for my battered body. I'm sorry that I'm such a burden that you have to spend a fortune on pills for me to drink every morning. I'm sorry you're having to deal with me. Okay, there it is. I won't do that again. Although, today, those words would have made sense. I really wasn't going to do it again. God sent her a granddaughter like this, and he will also take her away. It's a fair deal, I guess. Upbeat, I'm doing a mental check-in with you. How are you feeling right now? At this moment right now, let me know in the comments below how you were doing right now. If you're still upbeat, continue on with me. If you're not, take a break, come back later. And if you're really doing bad, get off the video. I'll see you in the next one. You heard me, this was your morning. Do that, do one of those 3 things, okay? Everybody else, let's continue on. I need to go to school. Bye, Grandma. Well, this is a nice, beautiful day. Let's really soak in the sun. Sun cures a lot. It's the brightness and the vitamin C and just seeing that the world is bigger than the 4 walls that we typically put ourselves within, right? That's what's great about the sun to me. Looking at the world and going, it's bigger than what I'm seeing. Oh, the music did not make me feel that good though. I kind of got twisted. For the first time this month, the clouds parted and the sun showed itself from behind them. I didn't care. It shined to everyone but me. It warmed everyone but me. That's actually not true though. My favorite type of weather is the overcast, about to rain weather. I don't know why, I've always loved that weather. Like we used to go swimming in a lake during storm weather, and that was my favorite time to swim. Probably a terrible time, an unsafe time to do it, because you know, thunder, lightning, whatever, but it just made the world seem that much cooler. I existed outside of this world. I swam against the flow of life, descending deeper and deeper into the void. Sometimes, anxious, negative thoughts filled my mind and interfered with my everyday life. Sometimes they existed somewhere in the background, but they never went away. Today, my head was full of white noise. My thoughts never stopped their chaotic and anxious movements inside my skull. But now they were doing under some sort of veil, or veil. It was difficult to think them. They always managed to slip away. So she's in a fog, she's in a trance. We've all had those days, right? When you wake up and just no matter what you do or try or eat or say, everything just feels kind of slower. Not even slower, just like, it just feels like literally you're in a fog. I had that happen a few, well, months ago, or maybe a year ago now. And I had it happen for like a week where I just could not seem to think straight. People would talk to me and I just could not process their words. And I couldn't process good conversation back. It was terrible, dude. I didn't know how to get rid of it. And I didn't get rid of it. I just woke up one day and it was gone. I was like, oh, thank God. I caught them meticulously, one by one, then examined them. They were all the same. I'm selfish. Am I really going to just abandon everything dear to me? What will happen to my boyfriend without me? Oh, so somebody does love her. She has love, but maybe he's not the right type of love. Will he blame himself for my death? But clearly there's a care because she cares how he feels. Oh, it could be a one-way care though. Maybe she gets all the emotion or puts all the emotion into the relationship and he's indifferent. Come to think of it, if we break up before that happens, it will be easier for him to get over the fact I'm no longer alive. Or he'll blame himself because he'll be like, I should have seen the signs. She was acting differently and broke up with me right before it happened. So you may push him into something worse. That still feels wrong though. I can't do this to a person that loved me until the very end. He endured my antics all this time and never hit me. Yeah, that's a baseline good thing. Like the start should be not hitting somebody you care about. He always told me the truth, even when I didn't ask. I know how difficult it is to love someone like me, but at least he's doing his best. Oh, honey. Oh, honey. Hi. Well, she got it just as like Wednesday Addams. Got her own style, her own little flair going on. He waited for me near the entrance, as usual. You're later than usual today. Where you been? I can never understand why he always needed to know that. I mean, he clearly knows I was at home. He's worrying about me too much. Sometimes it annoyed me. Sometimes it upset me. Sometimes it puzzled me. Sometimes it gave me hope. She's got a lot of emotions going on right now. I doubt he'd be so worried about me if he didn't love me. At the same time, I felt immensely ashamed and uncomfortable for being late and for letting myself get angry at him, and for intending to break his heart. I was home. You're lying. He looked at me straight in the eye. Is it eye or eyes? He looked at me straight in the eyes. Nah, straight in the eye sounds better. It sounds grammatically correct. It sounds more like the King's English, right? I always felt weak and helpless under this stare of his. I wanted to shrink to a dot and die. To become unnoticeable. Invisible. I would have done anything just to avoid him getting mad at me. And he doesn't hit you, right? You said that. You said that in the very beginning. He doesn't hit you when he gets angry. Maybe all this time I just wanted to be blind? Well, that makes sense. I'm not lying. Don't you dare lie to me. Fear shackled me. Oh, that's not good. I felt it with every cell of my body. Its sticky tentacles spread everywhere, leaving a trail of anxiousness in their wake. Can we not fight at least today? Did I imagine it? Or did he really just smirk? Oh, so he's an emotionally abusive fella. One of those. Okay, he's a verbally abusive guy. Love playing alongside emotionally abusive characters. I think this is what they call sadism. Oh, enjoyment from the suffering and pain of others, right? Is that what you're referring to? This is not exactly healthy. All right. I'm sorry. I was just very worried. I thought your health got worse again or something. He flashed me a soft smile and stretched out his hand. Huh. Just a second ago, there was a flame of hatred in his eyes. So she's either extremely perceptive to the emotions of others, like an empath, or she's manipulated the world to just see whatever it is she wants to see that fuels her narrative that she's alone. I don't know which yet. I'm just saying that those are possibilities. So what happened? Did I really just imagine it? I don't know. I can't see his eyes. I lowered my gaze in hesitation. I won't be able to squeeze a single word out of myself like this. I won't be able to squeeze a single word out of myself while he's looking at me like this. He's smiling now. Break up, don't break up. Yes, you can. You can do this. End it. By the way, we should break up. I regretted uttering those words the moment they left my lips. I'm so selfish. And the music tells me I did something wrong here. I'm the most selfish person on earth. How could I inflict so much pain on someone who's dear to me? Although, who am I kidding here? I'm a bad girlfriend. She is not taking this the way that I intended. This is supposed to be a freeing moment, and yet, it's just like when you respond to a domestic dispute. When two individuals are fighting that love each other and doing actual harm to each other, and then you try to separate them, they will stop doing harm to each other and focus in on you, which is why it's very, very dangerous to interfere with two people during a domestic dispute. Not saying that people trained shouldn't. I'm just saying that it's a very scary situation because two people in love, sometimes it can be a toxic animal. Like a beast is formed from that love, and it just lashes out at anybody who tries to interfere with it. Write a horror movie about that. Are you a writer? If you're a writer, you should write a horror movie about that. Give me credit in the byline though. I'm a bad girlfriend. I hurt him all the time. Sometimes he also hurt me. And at those moments, I felt like he was a total stranger. The most disgusting and unbearable person of all. But then it always turned out he had not done anything of the sort. And it was just my imagination. I'm just getting on his nerves. It's okay. Now he'll be able to meet someone better. It's usually sad to think about something like this, but I was, nonetheless, calmer than before. I guess I'm not that bad of a person if, even at a moment like this, I could care about him. Very funny. I'm serious. He furrowed his brow. Oh, there's that frown. Wait, but why? It was the first time I saw him truly at a loss for words. He grabbed my wrist and squeezed it. Let me go. His grip grew even stronger in reply. It hurts. My boyfriend was looking me straight in the eye, unblinking. Why? Did he decide I was lying to him again? You can't just do this to me? Are you really this cruel? Why are you leaving the only person who cares about you? You'll stay worthless without me. He moved closer and whispered something truly despicable in my ear. Even though he was outwardly calm, I knew he was boiling with rage. His toxic saliva soaked my blouse, and I was pretty sure it almost permeated my skin. Why is his spit toxic? But for some reason, I just didn't care. The things he said were absolutely true. But what did he say? I am pathetic and worthless. Nobody will remember me when I die. He said that? Oh, you should have been broken up. Oh, honey. Oh dear. I know. Now let me go. I tried to yank my hand away, but to no avail. You're not going anywhere. You're so silly. Why can't you understand that I love you? Oh, this is going really bad. Are we at a bus stop? Are there other people around? Why are we alone right now? He pulled me close, despite my protest. I hammered everything I could with my fist. If I could hit every square centimeter of his body, that's exactly what I would have done. Leave me alone! Why do you hate me so much? His arms embraced me, and I stopped resisting. I love you. I don't know who's talking sometimes, so it's hard for me to know who to switch to. You believe me, right? I think this is the dick. Give me another chance. We'll be fine. His grip weakened. I immediately slipped out of his embrace and ran into the school building. The classes will start soon. You need to find somebody to report this young man to, because he's got some violent tendencies you can see already. He's not just gonna take this, you run off into the school and never see him again. It's the type of dude that's gonna do some stalking shit. You should definitely tell somebody. I don't remember what I was doing, what I thought about, or what I said. I just remember the reddened face of my boyfriend, an ex-boyfriend at that point. Every break, he waited for me in the corridor. I told you, he ain't even going to class anymore. Dude was just outside the door. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tickety tock. I'm coming for your clock. Probably didn't say clock, but that's the only thing I can rhyme with clock, talk at that moment, so just take it. Just take it! He shouted something about love. Oh, tick.
Talk. I gotta love for my love. Talk.
I'm sorry, that's what I imagine the creepy ass boyfriend is doing. I'm not doing that. Don't put that on me. I'm just saying that's what the creepy ass boyfriend is probably doing. That he was really sorry. That we will surely do better soon. That I'm heartless. That I should go Did I reply to any of that? I can't remember. My head was filled with a ringing silence. The veil was lifted, and I didn't find a single heavy thought underneath it. By removing the burden, suddenly we find a little sunshine. We thought we were depressed, or we were veiled because of our own, whatever she views about herself, our own hatred of who we are and how we think and how we maneuver in this world. But in reality, in truth, it was him. It was a cloud, a darkened, dank, ugly cloud. Not a good cloud, one of those bad clouds, the funky clouds that you look outside and go, get the kids inside right now. And by removing it, we see a glimmer of sunlight. The classes ended in a flash. The sun hid behind a massive cloud. It's going to rain soon. I was going to the psychiatrist's office for some reason. I was forced to make an appointment 3 months ago, but today was the first day he was able to see me. At least that's what Grandma told me. So at least 90 or even more miserable people separated me and his office. I wonder, did they also have to wait for their turn this long? How many of them were beyond help, just like me? When people want to give themselves a chance, the world just takes it away. That's so unfair. I hate this world. I didn't even notice how I got to the office of that coveted office. I'm sorry, I don't know how I got to the office of that coveted office. What I meant to say is I didn't even notice how I got to the door of that coveted office. My feet grew roots into the floor. I couldn't move. Next! So I wasn't the only person visiting him today. 90 miserable people turned into 190 in the blink of an eye. wow, everything she sees is miserable. Like every little detail that most people would just ignore and accept as part of the world, she's turned into something that's not only bad, but bad specifically against her. Wow, that's miserable. Although, I guess a lot more people than that comes to him in those 3 months. A crowd like that I couldn't imagine. I did my best, but the sad, sick people blurred and settled in my mind as sticky, anxious slush. Or was it mush? It was getting harder and harder to think. Oh, I thought the cloud was gone. Never mind, I was wrong. I decided to stare at the door to distract myself, even though someone was already waiting for me on the other side. There was no name on the plate hanging on the door, but even without it, I knew I was visiting. It seems like there's a name. You just kind of blanked it out with some scribbles. His name was Grandma couldn't stop talking about him. He will definitely fix your head. If even radioactive M5 can't make you normal, then I don't know what will. He must be a great doctor if people say this about him. Come on in already. He's gonna try and make me reconsider my suicide. I didn't want to think what would happen if he succeeds. Hello? Oh, you're intense. The office was cold and empty on the inside, apart from 2 chairs and a table cluttered with stacks of paper. 100 miserable people immediately turned into 500. And now she's starting to spread that depression and go, not only am I depressed, but the rest of the world is depressed alongside me. Even worse. I imagine there's nothing worse for her than to not only think that she's alone, but so are everybody else in this world. So there's no point in connecting because everybody is alone. That's gotta be a pretty depressing thought. Or maybe 5,000. I'm not reading that, but you get the gist of it. He's speaking gibberish. Is that you? Oh, it's our name. A pair of watchful eyes measured me from head to toe. Gross. I was dissected and put under a microscope. Although, who am I kidding here? He was pondering if I was even worth getting into the slide. He was pondering if I was even worth getting onto the slide. I gulped. Yes, that's me. Now just stand in the doorway. The doctor's hand pointed at the nearby chair. Too close. I slowly crossed the office and sat. I cannot speak today, y'all. I am so sorry. I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to, but the words just don't want to come. Not like they're not coming from her, like they're not coming from me. I slowly crossed the office and sat across him. His pupils darted around, trying to grasp at least something positive about me. After failing that task, the doctor froze up, looking past me, as if his eyes had already burned a hole in my body, and the rest of it was about to be dissolved by acid. God, dog, you are a joy to be around. This is tough. If I go away, my problems will also go away. End of session. Here we go. Well, surely, what's troubling you, Q? Well, let me tell you the truth, Doc, because I need some help. I need some milk or some help. Can I really trust him? Grandma dragged me to a countless number of specialists. Something in my body always broke down, and she desperately tried to fix it. Even though, realistically, I should have been dumped at a junkyard ages ago. Just like a doll with a torn off head. She always grumbled that I'm embarrassing her in front of others. She said that only psychos go to doctors like those. Grandma's a real treat. So I guess everything she said was true then. Am I really so abnormal? Then she sent me here to I must really be hopeless. Does Grandma want them to prescribe me new medications? I hope not. You're already drinking a whole waterful. I'm way beyond help. And I've got nothing to lose. I will kill myself today. There's nothing tying me to this world. Grandma hates me. My ex-boyfriend said that nobody would ever love someone like me. Everybody at school tries to stay away from me. They think I'm crazy. I almost always feel alone. I don't know how to get out of all of this. It's getting harder and harder to find hope. And yesterday, I realized that I can't go on like this anymore. I don't know why I'm telling you this when I've already decided for myself. Well, maybe it's to justify all those months I've spent waiting. Playful flames flashed in the doctor's eyes. You know what? Somewhere deep inside, you feel pity towards yourself. Am I right? I nodded after a moment of hesitation. Poor, sad child. There's no one to comfort and console you apart from yourself, right? He smiled. This must be how a carnivore smiles before dealing a killing blow to its prey. Everything in her world has evil intentions toward her. Just the worst. She's manipulated everything to just be violent, malicious entities, and they're all targeted towards her. This mindset would not only be terrifying, it would be draining. It'd be exhaustive to think like this each and every day. So I think this is doing a really good job of making you feel what she feels, because every other sentence from her is just so damn exhausting, because it's just like everywhere she looks, it's hardship. It's somebody's out to get me. Somebody wants something from me. Somebody's examining me. Man. Woo, let's do another mental health check-in. Where are you at right now? Drop in the comments below where you are at right now with this game. Is it affecting you? Is it not affecting you? Or like, are you going like, I know what this feels like? If you do know what this feels like, you need to take a break, because if you do, take the damn break, please. Take a break. Because pretty soon I'll have to take a break. God, dog, this is depressing. After playing with it for a little while and before taking its life and devouring it. And, what did you do to help yourself? Nobody loves you? Have you seen yourself in the mirror? Just look at your braids and glasses. It's no wonder nobody takes you seriously. What else did you complain about? If you don't like living with your grandma, just get out of the house. As easy as that. Find yourself a proper job and get out. But I'm still 16. I thought she was 15. I won't be able to get a job. Not true. 16 is definitely a legal age for you to start working. I think 15. I think I started working at 15, 14. I think most people start working around 15, 14, especially 16. Doesn't matter. If you really wanted to, you would have been able to do it. You probably think you have depression, right? Or that your problems are huge. I hope the doctor's not really saying this. I'm hoping that she's manipulated, because if this is a doctor who's being paid money to talk to teenagers who are suffering from some serious mental conditions like this, oh man, no wonder we're all messed up. Or that your problems are huge. Listen to me, an adult. Depression was made up by nasty kids like you. Damn. You had to justify your laziness somehow, right? Here's your diagnosis. You're just a petulant child. If it's easier for you to die than to fight for yourself, then I don't see why you shouldn't kill yourself. God! I take it back. It's not just her. Her world just sucks. Curiosity in the doctor's eyes waned, and he switched his gaze to the documents. I see. I left the office. I guess Grandma was right. After all, I'm hopeless. I thought we were gonna be doing good and helping her, but I'm starting to feel like we're doing worse and hurting her. In just half an hour, the streets got flooded with people. Just like ants, they went back and forth, trying to get home as soon as possible. Home. Must feel nice when you want to return home. You know what? I never thought about that. Where are her parents? We never addressed that. In my case, the only two things that awaited me there were Grandma and dinner, both of which I hated. I slowed my pace, and then stopped altogether in the middle of the walkway. The pedestrians behind me also slowed down to avoid bumping into the little girl. Sometimes they also elbowed me in the side and shouted, "Hey, watch where you're going!" at my back. But I didn't care. People around me were alive and dead at the same time. Just like me. Hello, kitty. Oh, finally some good news. potentially. This cat lived here in my neighborhood for around a year. Unless it's the cat from Horns, in which case, no good. Bad kitty. Bad kitty. Since the day one of my neighbors threw him into the dumpster. Sometimes I wish Grandma would also throw me out, and then we'd be able to live together with Kitty. Some nights, we slept together under the balcony. Those nights were the best in my life. Yes, I was cold and hungry, but at least I wasn't alone. I had a fluffy friend. Just adopt a cat. Just take the cat, keep it underneath your bed, close your door. It doesn't sound like Grandma cares about what you do for most of the day. Just breakfast and dinner. Grandma didn't like Kitty. Just like any other friend I tried to make. When she saw me together with Kitty, she always got mad. She said that he has fleas and who knows what diseases. Yeah, but the worst disease thing within the house is definitely Grandma at this point. Like, that's the biggest disease, walking contagion in the house. I didn't care. I was too lonely to not be friends with Kitty. And if he really has fleas, I'll only gain more friends. Some of you may see this as a negative. I see this as a positive. She has a sense of humor, and there is a glimmer of optimism within her bones. You know, I'm going to die tonight. Don't get lonely without me, okay? He started rubbing against my leg and meowing, as if he understood what I told him. It's a pity I don't speak the cat language. Does Kitty want to stop me from doing that to myself? Or did he just miss me and is hungry? Stop it, little guy. I've already made my decision. I wanted to believe that this cat needed me. He was more or less the same battered and lonely creature as me. Creatures like Kitty and I should stay together. Live together. Or die together. Oh boy. The cat jumped on my leg and started purring. Lap and started purring. Oh, what am I going to do with you? I hate myself. I know this is the wrong answer. There's probably no right answer, but we're taking the kitty home. Come on, Kitty. Get down. I need to go home. Kitty didn't get down. Somebody will surely take care of you. Let me go, please. Kitty refused to let me go. Small claws carefully pierced my skin. Enough to make me stay, but not enough to hurt me. I bet that if he could talk, he would have said everything I had on my mind. That we're alike, and that we need to stay together. So you're not leaving. Meow. Kitty jumped down from my lap and strode toward the entrance to my condo. You want to go to my place? This is the least I can do for him. I should take him home and continue living for his sake. In the end, he was the only one who gave me hope. You know Grandma doesn't like you. How can I take you home? I sighed. Sometimes I managed to persuade Grandma. One day, we even went to have dinner at a cafeteria. I'm just gonna let you have it. I don't understand what you mean by you went to have dinner at a cafeteria. Like, at a school? Or a nursing home? Because where else? I've never looked up, like, I can't wait to go eat at a cafeteria today. Where are you eating that at? Maybe I can persuade her about Kitty, too. A buffet. Maybe she meant buffet. Fine. Be a good boy and don't make her mad, okay? I'll think of something. We ate the breakfast that morning, so maybe she's in a better mood. I carefully grabbed the cat and carried him home. Oh, God, there's the reptile face. Grandma met me in the doorway. I felt terrible looking at her face, twisted by anger. You brought this filth home? How many times do I have to tell you to stay away from it? I swear, if a single flea from it jumps onto you, I won't care about your braids and will shave you bald. Got it? Yes, Grandma. I'll wash him, and he won't have fleas. Can he stay? No! Please, I already almost never ask you for anything. Kitty is my friend. You don't have friends! The cat in my hand squirmed and tensed up. Now give it to me! Why? I said give it here! He's mine. Oh, this could get bad. Grandma yanked Kitty out of my hands. Oh, this is gonna get bad. We probably should have left Kitty there. Crap. He hissed and swayed his paws, scratching at the twisted, bony hands as hard as he could. Grandma didn't care. She carried Kitty into the room, then to the balcony. I ran after them. I didn't make it in time. Kitty was falling down from the 15th floor. Oh, push Grandma next. Grandma gotta go. Grandma gotta right up behind. Woo! Woo! Grandma gotta go. Grandma gotta fly. Go catch Kitty, Grandma. Oh my God, this is sick. His beautiful cat face twisted in a scream. Oh, this is sick. Too bad I don't understand cat language. Okay, see, this is more than just normal depression in me, though, because her world actually sucks. Things are actively depressing her, not just like everything is relatively fine or normal in terms of what people experience in life. No, these people are evil around her, so I can understand her depression. Bam. I shuddered. Kitty was no more. Grandma killed him. Although, who am I kidding here? It was me who brought him home. I knew that she doesn't like him, but I still did it. I'm so selfish. I didn't look down. I didn't want to learn what really happened there. I went to my room without saying a word. The room greeted me with a freezing cold atmosphere. Grandma forgot to close the window. Again. I sat at the table and heaved a deep sigh. Somewhere deep inside, I hoped that something would change today. That something would happen and I would regain my will to live. The last day of my life ended up being the same as all the others. It's a bit of a shame, but whatever. It's all my fault anyway, as always. No matter what I did, no matter how much I tried to change something for the better, I only made it worse. Dear Grandma, I know how much time and effort you've put into me. Don't apologize to Grandma. She does not need an apology. Fuck Grandma. Excuse my language, but you say it with me. Fuck Grandma. But I can't keep going like this. My life is meaningless. I always feel lonely. I hate myself. I know that you're not exactly happy with me either. And honestly, I don't think there's a single person in this world who's happy with me. I can't live like this anymore. That's why I'm leaving this world. Please, forgive me if you can. Oh, God. Oh, Sheila. Again, let's do a mental health check-in. If you're good, feel free to continue on. If you're not, if there's even just a little bit of you that's like, I can't watch this, you can join me in the next video. I will not feel no two ways about it. Thank you for making it this far. Please feel free to watch any of the other happy videos that we have on the channel. I'm sure there's plenty of them that you can watch. Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy is on there. That's straight happiness. What else we got that's happy on there? We play a lot of horror games, man. I mean, it's really hard to find. Oh, we have that sim game, that tree friend game that we played a long time ago. I don't know, do some deep diving. I'm sure there's some happy games on there to go. Please enjoy those. You don't have to watch this next part. I barely want to watch this next part. I opened my desk drawer. Among a pile of junk lay a box cutter knife. I prepared it in advance yesterday. It was time. Story by CTC. Yeah, at least we didn't have to hear anything or see anything. Super sad. Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go back through and I'm gonna try some alternate options. I'm going to see if there is any way possible that we can get QX95841LM5 parentheses mark question mark to live. So that's what we're gonna work on next. The key to this guy, I'm assuming, is to shut the hell up, because telling him what our problem is did not solve anything. I know that for a fact. Okay, yep, doctor, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's do this. Say nothing. Go F yourself. I made an appointment with you 3 months ago. There was something bothering me back then, but now I don't care. Really now. The doctor squinted. Did he not believe me? Although, that would make sense. Even I couldn't trust myself sometimes. Then why did you come? I waited for too long to not come at all. That's a good answer. That's a fair answer. You made me wait, so I'm gonna waste your time. Why is it so difficult to get an appointment here anyway? What? Did you think you were special or something? I thought about this all the way to his office. but I decided against voicing my thoughts. Why are you talking to me like that? I love her attitude. It's a lot more, it's just stronger this time around. I don't feel like she's just taking the abuse. All I did was ask a question. I'm the one asking questions in this office. Do you have a hypothesis about the cause of your aggression? Aggression? Again, sometimes I cannot tell who's talking. This therapy session is just some kind of evil joke, right? How dare he make fun of me after so many months? He managed to make me really angry in just a couple of seconds. I'll complain to your superiors. So you do care after all, huh? I hesitated. He got me there. I don't give a damn. If that's the case, there's no reason to complain either. No, he gives a damn. You don't want to snitch it. I see that. You try to pretend like you don't care. But she was like, oh, she gonna tell my boss, though, as a psychiatrist with his own office. I don't know who his boss is. The board of psychiatrists? Maybe. But I'll still do it. Maybe then you'll start helping people instead of tormenting them with unbearable waiting time and your snide remarks. Yes! Get that psychiatrist ass! Goodbye. Get him! I slammed the door shut and ran into the corridor. Why did a random visit to another doctor make me so angry? Did I really have some sort of hope there? Did I really want him to make me reconsider? A lump of unspoken thoughts and emotions got stuck in my chest. This hasn't happened to me in a while. I need to write everything down to the last word. I'm not sure I'll be able to do it. Sometimes I got carried away and couldn't properly articulate my thoughts. Well, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling more confident. As you can tell, there's a little bit more jump in the shoulders today, so I feel like we're on the right track. I got a hint of a feeling of some joy, possibly. So even this time, instead of complaining, I ended up coming clean on some crime I didn't commit. I've waited for an appointment for 3 months, but nobody helped me. Retinol 1DHNVD is a bad doctor. He doesn't care about his patients at all. Although, I can't really blame him. I don't care about myself at all, too. Let's just take the dub. Let's just focus on the win. I'm going to be her positive side. She can be her own negative side. I crumpled a piece of paper in my hand and threw it to the waste bin. When you want to blame someone, don't blame yourself. I've waited for an appointment for 3 months, but nobody helped me. We're hitting at 1 at 5 1 is a bad doctor. He doesn't care about his patients at all. That's better. I left my complaint right there. A light draft blew through the corridor and swept it to the floor, under the chairs. Whatever. I didn't care if anybody was to ever read or do anything about it. That's right, because it was for us. Not for anybody else, just us. Here we go. Leave Kitty alone. Sorry, Kitty. I just don't want to watch you fall off a balcony. 15-story up balcony. Stop it, Kitty. I carefully placed him on the ground and stood up. Let's go. I'll buy you something nice to eat. Kitty clearly knew what this word meant. He became lively again and ran toward the closest grocery store. Where do we get money from? Do we have a job? Do we get paid from Grandma? Do we get paid off by the psychiatrist for possibly snitching on him? After just 5 minutes, he was already eating sour cream out of a jar. Not the cheapest treat, but he deserved it. Especially since they didn't have any milk in the store for some reason. It probably got sold out. Kitten out here running a racket. Well, he got kittens underneath him that everybody just running out to people and everybody buying milk. That's why all the milk is gone. He's got stores of milk. Too bad that nobody will take care of Kitty after I'm gone. Too bad I won't be able to help him anymore. Too bad that this sour cream is the last thing I can do for him. I hate myself. Enjoy the meal. Kitty didn't even turn around and just continued eating the sour cream. Farewell. I stood up quietly and went toward the entrance to my condo. I didn't want to look back, but I still did it halfway. The cat was still eating his treat, paying the world around him no mind. So that's what he really wanted. Kitty just wanted to survive. He wasn't going to be friends with me. I hope things go well for him. I still feel good about that decision. Even if it makes us feel a little bit worse, it's better than the alternative. Where have you been? At the doctor. You made the appointment yourself. How did it go? Okay. Did you get a new prescription? Did I need to? Are you crazy? Your pills don't work anymore. You need something stronger. I don't. I want to be alone. I'm sorry. Ran in my room, locked the door, finally alone. It's time to end everything. I took a it was different this time. I took a box cutter out of my desk drawer and held it over my wrist. My hand froze in hesitation. That was it! That's all we had to do. So the first decision is to eat grandma's nasty food. Just suck it down. Don't complain. You put up with it for however many years, 15 years. You've gotten through it. Show that you can get through it. Then you move to the dickhead wearing the sports jacket in 102-degree weather. Tell him to go jump off a bridge because you can't stand him. Not jump off a bridge because this world is evil. He may actually do it. But tell him to kick rocks because he's evil. After you tell him to kick rocks, you're happy and you realize he was a dark cloud and you need to get rid of the cloud. Yeah, go to the crazy psychiatrist who's an asshole pretending to be a doctor. You know what you tell that doctor? Nothing. Which is weird because you tell him nothing, but you also tell him basically he's a bad doctor that you're going to report him. So you tell him everything. And then you write it down saying, you suck. And then kick rocks. And then finally, you go for the cat, even though you want to keep the cat because you think it's the last thing in the world that could keep you company. You realize that your grandma's an evil, sadistic old woman and will throw that cat over the railing. So tell the cat to also kick rocks, but feed it first, and then go about your day, and here you are. That was the key. We found the key. It only took us like 3 times. We got there. Loving it. Here we go. My hand froze in hesitation. Do I really want to kill myself? Am I really completely hopeless? Just like my life? So many things happened today. I dumped the person who has been hurting me for such a long time. I didn't shy away from saying everything I had on my mind to a total stranger. And Kitty, who will feed and take care of him when I'm gone. I sighed and put away the knife. I'm just a total weakling. I know out of context that seems like a horrible sentence. In this context, I love that sentence. I will take total weakling for this particular moment because she's not. She's just done the strongest thing that she could possibly do on this day. I can't even stay true to my word, but I guess this world still needs me. I need to keep on living and fighting, at least for Kitty's sake. Or for my own sake. Maybe tomorrow things will get better. Not with Grandma in the house. Love it! All right, my beautiful ladies and gentlemen, here we are on the Steam page for This Morning I Decided to Die. I'm going to start with this. Thank you to everybody who decided to go on what could have been a traumatic experience. I don't care what your level of comfortability is, whether it was extremely uncomfortable or you had no issues with it. I give you a sincere thanks for sticking it out and getting through that. I enjoyed This Morning I Decided to Die, which is a weird thing to say about a game that is mostly about suicide and depression. It was difficult sometimes to not even put up. I'm not gonna say put up with because that just to me sounds kind of demeaning and belittles the point of the game. It was difficult to constantly hear how she viewed the world because it was filled with such negativity, which I understand is again the point of the game, showing how somebody could come to the decisions that she ended up coming with when they view a world that literally has no positives. Even if the things that she finds positivity, I hear Cat, there's still a negative skew around it. I think it's exacerbated a little bit in that her world, I don't feel like people need a strong excuse to feel like their world sucks, right? Like you don't actually have to have a grandmother who abuses you. You don't actually have to have a boyfriend who abuses you. You don't actually have to have a sadistic psychiatrist that you go to. Not saying that those things don't exist, but I feel like for people who are depressed, it's not as black and white as that. Like there's a lot more nuance to how they view the world. And objectively, somebody may look in and go like, oh, their life is pretty good. They shouldn't be depressed. And that's where I feel like the game kind of loses me a little bit in that her world was actually really bleak, like black and white. It was pretty bad. versus the people that I've known who suffer from depression. For the most part, objectively, you'd be like, oh, their life isn't that bad, but that's just not how they see it. Like, everything they see is always tinted with like negativity. But I like that the game did it. Like, I thought the game did a good job of just like every sentence being just always just draining and exhausting. I think I used that word in the gameplay, is that it feels exhausting living this experience with our protagonist, and that's what it should feel like when you're dealing with a topic as heavy as self-transitioning. I also can see how, although I enjoyed the game, this game could not be for everybody. There's not a lot of layers to the gameplay, right? There's only so many choices you can make, and they don't necessarily connect, right? Like, you get to the same spots no matter what options you choose, you're pretty much going to arrive at the same spots. The key to the game is just to figure out the right choices to make to get the ending that you want, which to me was obviously letting her live. And there's no kind of gray area with that. Like, you either 100% pick the right answers, which we learned were, again, eating the food from grandma, dumping the asshole boyfriend, saying nothing to the asshole psychiatrist, saying or not letting the kitty come with us, and then boom, you survive. But like I said, I enjoyed it. I can see how that wouldn't be for everybody, but I thought it was solid. I think it did a good job in telling the story that it wanted to tell. And that's really all I have to say about This Morning I Decided to Die. Hopefully, if you are dealing with something like that, you can find that thing in your life as well that gives you the strength to continue moving forward. But also, hopefully, none of you are all suffering from that, and you're just like, I enjoyed the gameplay, I enjoyed the story, I enjoyed the ride. JL Dub, I'm ready for the next game. Maybe make it a little bit more lighthearted. I got you, I think. Maybe. I don't know. We got some good horror games coming up, and they might not be that happy either. Anyway, I want to thank you all so much for joining me on this episode of... Why am I saying this episode of? We don't have a channel name that would go with this episode of, but I am your host, JLW. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in the next series. Check out some of the other awesome series we got on the channel. Maybe some lighthearted, colorful ones for a little bit before you jump back into the horror stuff. And I'll see you all there. Without further ado, it is my favorite word to say at the end of a video. You know it. Say it with me. I'll give a count. 3, a 2, a 1, a deuces!